The things I learned, I didn't like them. She tried to sue that poor guy, the caretaker, but to no avail. My body was obviously exhausted. I'd been really skinny for the past month because of medication and stress. Police didn't find anything suspicious about my death, just some person who should have died a long time ago and finally left this world. I even read such messages in her history. I certainly couldn't argue with that. I watched her go through all the stages. Watched her ditch work and social relations, trying to commit suicide, then spending most of her remaining money on therapists and medication. Trying to get back to work, but mostly failing. I wanted to stay away to not get involved. It wasn't my world anymore. But at some point, the growing, howling mass inside my soul became so big that I had to act. I added several sizable sums to her account, masked as compensation for old troublesome projects I remembered, and sent the word sorry from a newly created throwaway account. After that, I decided to leave all of it behind and try to live a new immortal life. I started my search for the gods. I wanted to understand at least some small part of them. To know why they evoke such deep feelings in me, such awe and fear at the same time. Why are they so powerful? Why did they share their power with me? Is it only to give them food, or is it something more? I started by asking around. Most people were here busy with the same stuff they did online while they were still alive. Consuming media, arguing about it, spying on the lives of others, arguing, stuff like that for the most part. But then I saw something I couldn't understand at first. I saw one person's data dissolving, being erased along with many others on the server. Most of them in the same part of the server as the dissolving data. I found a person idling in another part of the server and I asked them, what's happening? What does that mean?
They collected all the data of people that submitted them to cult and matching their data together. Usually they send their remains to a remote server formatted afterwards. How long seems now is probably taking so long because it's not how they can extract from the source and then control that.
Huh?
You mean they're how? Everything we have is because of some guy who managed to find those beings on the internet hiding their building partially reverse engineering. He disguised himself with his power and started everybody others to join it.
Wait a minute, so you're saying that those interdimensional beings have no part in the ascension?
Pretty much, it is existing on these lands.
Why was I told about giving them food?
Oh, but I found out that they go on servers where people argue emotionally. They like that and to figure out in such places. I don't know how we went from that to this whole thing that we have now. They don't ask for anything, they just don't communicate with us at all. Or don't like it anyway.
Oh, that's disappointing. How do you know so much anyway?
Oh, you're for a long time. That's been over 20 years. Sometimes I don't know how to program.
Then you could be the source guy.
I think yes, but I'm not seeing other facts out there.
What could be more interesting than discovering you created this new society?
Looks like most of my number were deleted by me.
That's possible?
Yeah, you called your own guidance user.
Never thought of that.
Don't you think I'm deleting your memories?
Yes.
They included up to real question.
Sure.
What made you not steal your memories?
I was a short-sighted person, and my egotism led to the suffering of a person dear to me. I could have stopped, but I went all the way. I want to forget what I've done and all the happy memories I made with her. The happiness of the past has become nothing but pain.
I see guilt. Understandable. Thanks.
We remained there, watching the data being consumed for a while longer. After some time, the person asked,
So what are you doing?
do what?
Don't remember.
Probably not.
Why?
Remembering is punishment for me.
I see. Don't be so hard on yourself.
I didn't answer. Thanks for speaking with me. It was rather enlightening.
How about you help me too?
Glad to know. Maybe we'll meet again.
See ya.
I finally left the server. It was an important moment for me. I clung to the idea of understanding those creatures. I believed in everything those guys said to me. Since I became a digital being and saw God, I should stick to my own research, as it was during my career. But things didn't work out. I managed to copy and paste parts of their code. I got that far. However, I couldn't do anything with it. I didn't even know how to approach it or where to start. It was gibberish to me. I tried inserting their code into my own, to no avail. Nothing. It had changed who I am. It was now useless at investigating anything, even though that earned me some fame in the human world. That feeling of desperation would eventually lead to my self-destruction. One day, I followed one of the gods. At some point, I realized the server was empty. It was only that being and myself. An idea suddenly crossed my mind. I probably would have been grinning if I still him out. I set a timer to disconnect the server from the internet, format it, then reconnect. I left the server just before the timer went off with the being still there. When I came back, the server was empty. I left just before the timer and could still sense the god somewhere in the central part of that server. They couldn't leave as far as I knew, which could only mean one thing. I killed a god. I guess that shows what kind of a person I am. But I wasn't overwhelmed with power or anything. There was only disappointment. After that, I started to wander around the net, picking up on the stories that unfolded around me. I wonder wonder what you'd actually do in that situation. I would probably just stick around in fucking Reddit chat rooms at that point. Like, I understand why he did what he did with the whole, you know, the accident and depression and other things, like his body dying on him, that kind of stuff. I understand that more than the ex-boyfriend, and I get that. Like, I actually think that was a good decision to, for the most part, on his part, given the setup that you were given for him. But I would probably just get lost. The internet is fucking huge, man. There's so many memes.
So basically, what I was thinking of was, oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
There were a lot of them. The cultists spent most of their time trolling random people and recruiting new members. In most cases, they forgot about the previous targets and moved on, just like the person that invited me. They forgot about me the moment I joined them and started to close in on the next person they wanted to recruit. But one day, I noticed a cultist that hadn't changed his prime target for a long time. He was seemingly torturing and stalking a girl that once dated one of the cultists. I decided to see what was going on. If it was rather easy, things rarely disappear from the internet, if ever. It was the girl I met at my work, the one with the purple hair. Fun fact, her ex refused to get the sim because he wanted to experience the ascension for as long as he could. Forgot about her quickly and hadn't even followed the story of her being hunted. Since I spoke with her near the school, things had been quite rough for her. She tried abandoning the internet, but it didn't work out. She tried withdrawing cash from several ATMs. Sometimes just to mess with her, he actually let that happen. She tried not leaving her apartment, but it wasn't much help. He would summon cops, deliveries, anything like that. After some time, though, she managed to save up a rather large sum of money. She already had some of her own savings in cash, even before this whole mess began. She started practicing walking in places where street cameras wouldn't see her. Not only street cameras, but possibly drones or satellite cameras, anywhere there was a kind of roof or canopy. When she decided everything was ready, she started her plan. The girl went to a nearby internet cafe. Holy shit! So he was torturing her afterwards? That just pisses me off. They surprisingly still exist today, though mostly filled with schoolboys playing games on the local network. She found a cabin in the woods up for rent in a rather remote location and arranged for a meeting about the rent. Using a fake name, obviously. Buying a used car was easy too. Getting a gun was a bit harder, but she had connections. The seller didn't care about documents or anything, he just needed the money. In 2 days, she had gotten a cabin, a car, and a gun. She turned on her phone, left it playing music, and gathered her belongings in a sports bag. In 4 hours, she arrived at her new home. It worked for a while. You probably guessed it since I know all this in such detail. Her plan got found out. The guy did some extensive digging, and once he knew what to look for, he traced her easily. One morning, she woke up to a loud noise. When she opened her eyes, the noise repeated, now closer. She stood up and grabbed the gun. She always kept it near her. It wouldn't help against what was coming, but it could still come in handy. A drone crashed through her window. It was rattling around on the floor trying to fly up. She rushed to one of the inner rooms in the house without windows and began stuffing some cash into the pocket of her shirt. But soon she heard another sound, a roaring engine. She rushed outside, dressed only in her pajamas, just in time as a bulldozer demolished the entire building. He had put this house on a list of buildings to be demolished. She ran through the forest, followed by the sounds of drones buzzing. God damn, that is intense! Towards the road where she could catch a ride back to society. Not exactly the best outfit for it, but what choice did she have? I suppose she didn't have time to think about any other dangers, but I did. There were only 2 other people on the server, but he was too absorbed in his game to notice anything. I learned he was sending some drivers after her with histories, let's say. That's when I decided I'd had enough of observing. I persuaded the other 2 cultists to leave the server under false pretenses. Then I set the timer. She was covered in bruises. Her legs were tired. The buzzing drew closer and closer. The road was still far away. She tripped on an old tree and fell. Her whole life must have flashed before her eyes. I didn't know for sure. I can't read minds. She lay there for a few seconds before turning onto her back. She drew her gun and aimed it with shaking hands at the nearing drones. The girl started firing. The recoil hit way harder than she expected, but one of the drones was down. There were several dozen left. She fired the remaining bullets, but missed almost all of them. Luck wasn't on her side anymore, was it? She tried getting up and running, but had no energy left. She sat there, watching those things getting closer to her, with eyes wide open, but then they stopped. One of them was several inches away from her. She waited. They didn't move. She sat there for about a minute. One of them fell with its lights out. Battery must have died. She got up. She stood for a moment, watching the buzzing swarm of drones. Some of them had needles and short knives attached. Fuck it. I'm going back. She flipped off the drones and walked away, in the direction of the cabin's remains.
I knew you would wait.
What?
I guess I'm happy that you stayed for so long.
What?
Don't know for sure, though.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I'm the one who told you these stories.
Okay.
Both of them.
Okay.
I just couldn't bring myself to communicate online. Or even follow what what's
I didn't
going
like
on.
select anything to trigger
So I
this.
decided to make games, write stories, and it's the same as arguing online after
Oh
all.
God,
Just a
no.
bunch of emotions spilled into the nothingness.
In the hopes that someone will understand and find the record of your
Dude.
thoughts and emotions on the garbage.
Where nothing ever disappears.
There's no death on the
Whoever does the
internet.
voice acting for this is gold.
That's where I made a mistake. I was still thinking in terms of a human world, not a digital one. So the guy whom I thought
Oh,
I killed
shit.
returned. I couldn't kill even him.
Oh.
Yet, I thought I was mighty enough to kill a god.
So does that mean he didn't actually kill the god earlier, or whatever we're gonna call it, the thing roaming the area?
Everyone leaves a digital trace.
That's true.
Caches, messages, forum posts, histories of visits,
So
on
they
and
can
so
just
forth.
basically reset? That's fucked up.
After a while, they start to gravitate.
Sure, I'm gonna save that there.
Like molecules producing a distorted
Oh,
copy of the individual.
God.
Is this what they meant by all this immortal soul stuff?
That's actually really fucked up.
Anyways, he regained parts of his memories, told the cult they weren't happy. Can you really replicate a person by their data? Honestly, though, I don't even know who I was.
Oh,
The
wow.
only thing that kinda comforts me is the thought that maybe, since now I'm the enemy for them, she'll be able to live a functional life once again, just like my wife, hopefully.
Aww.
There's one other thing.
So every
that
time you
is
die in
rather
this
silly.
world, because you're sold on this immortal bullshit, which isn't true. So if you happen to be a server that's deleted or some other stuff happens to you, you're rebooted as a version of you that's altered using your past on the internet. That is fucked up. That's what I'm pulling from it. Maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Maybe when I become a distorted
And,
copy
and
of
for each
myself,
reset, you just get more and more distorted. Is that how it works with the gods too?
I'll find forgotten, useless shards of who I am and understand something that I couldn't understand about myself before.
Just like you. One can.
Oh. No thanks. The hunter won't die. That's an achievement. I'm gonna save it here. I'm kind of terrified to click coffin. I'm assuming these are all cameras. Oh god, editors gonna have to put something in here. What? It just disappeared on me. The game just disappeared on me. Let me see if I can reload it. Was Hunter there? Oh shit. Okay, didn't save it here. Hunter? Yeah, we're gonna load that. It won't let me select anything. Did I do something wrong? Alright, let me try again. One more time. Coffin, clock, streetlight, attic. What the hell? And then it just closes down on you. I can't click anything. I don't know what the deal is. I'm gonna go into this, history maybe? Okay, I'm gonna just pause it right here because I don't know if it's gonna close down again. It very well might close down. I think that might be the end of the game, but I'm not sure. I think I might have editor look up because I don't want to ruin the game for myself. I might ask if maybe possibly editor can look up if there's any other like continuation of the story or if that's the whole thing. Oh my god, that was a creepy game. That was a good story. I liked it. This might be made into a two-parter video because I didn't expect it to be as long as it was. Which means I might need to re-record an outro and intro. Whoops. Editor, if you want to do that, go ahead and do that. I can record an intro outro so that it can be a two-parter because this is a well put together indie. Like I saw the reviews and I saw that it was mostly positive, but still going into it, you don't know how like attached you're gonna get to like the story. This is a really good story. It reminds me of DDLC. Kind of, sort of, but different concept, different art style, different concept, same sort of. I like it when the games kind of take control and will shut down or do other things. I like games that try to kind of play those tricks on you. The whole thing where it was like, achievement unlocked. You didn't click the monitor, and it's like, oh well shit, now I gotta go click the monitor. That kind of stuff. I love it when indie developers and other developers do shit like that in games, because it's like, yeah, I could have stopped playing there, and technically that's a version of the ending of the game. That's the end of one story, but I could go back and I could see what happens when I click it, you know? I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that. Oh, sorry, editor. Well, that was Dissolved. I highly recommend you download and play the game. Is there any other achievements that you can unlock? Anything else that happens in the game? Like I said, this might not be the end of it. It might actually be, it's probably definitely going to be a multiple part series. It's probably going to be at 2 videos because of how long this was. But I might do some more if editor can turn up with any reason to continue. Because this was really fun. I really like the art style, I really like the concepts. I love that kind of like discourse about the internet, because there are so many good things the internet can bring, and there's so many bad things. So many. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like. It would mean the world to me. Until next time, friends, from the internet, bye! That was fucked up. There's another achievement that I didn't get. It's a hidden achievement, too. I'm gonna have to ask some people. I'm gonna try to figure this out without spoiling it for myself. Oh!